the self-defense company, world leader in close combat.
Welcome you to the call. My name is George Hutchings. I'm up in Ontario, Canada. I've been an instructor with the self-defense company since 2011. Been teaching defensive tactics even before that. So my agenda tonight is to discuss how I have actually changed what I've done. I used to teach directly to students, group classes, private lessons, and as great as that is, I was limited by my territory, and I needed to be able to expand. And through the help of the self-defense company, Damien Ross, and the program that I'll talk a little bit about tonight, I've been able to do that. And because of it, I have students all over the world now. So it really is a way to start a business from your living room. First thing I wanted to do was just kind of discuss the difference between self-defense and martial arts. A lot of people get that really confused. You see ads in the phone books, ads online, and unfortunately self-defense gets lumped within martial arts. So there's a lot of misconceptions about what it is that we actually do. And martial arts has its place. It's a great thing. Structured programs are awesome. Builds confidence. It's a wonderful thing to get kids involved with. But at the end of the day, it lacks reality. And that's what brought me to real self-defense, to close combat, and to Damien Ross. I was looking for that simple and effective and lethal answer to deal with everyday issues that we could face. Because at the end of the day, when shit hits the fan, you're not going to have time to sit there and think about the 6,000 different techniques that you've learned from white belt to black belt. You need an instinctive and compulsive response to that threat. And I was drawn to this. I was drawn to it because it's simple. It's based on gross motor skills. It's structured in a way that our students learn quickly in a fraction of the time. That's what they had to do from a military standpoint. You couldn't train soldiers, and it'd take a lot of time. They had to be out in the field. They had to be out working, so they needed a solution right away. And that's what we need. Now, that's the downside to having a business like this, because you're not keeping students for the long term. You're not dangling that elusive black belt in front of them. You're going to find that there's a little bit more turnover in what we do. So people need to understand that with self-defense, it's a necessity. We protect our homes, we protect our cars, we protect everything around us, but we don't invest in ourselves from a self-defense standpoint. A lot of people come when it's already too late. And our job, my job, has always been to encourage people to learn the basics, to learn the fundamentals of self-defense should anything, ever happen. Is there any questions about the difference really between reality-based self-defense and martial arts? I'm assuming that you guys are pretty familiar with this program or have had some exposure to it being on the list. Excellent. Okay. So when I started this business from home, I got linked up with Damien, and he has created a program that's web-based, and it's structured almost in like a university-style format. So you've got training videos along with techniques, along with literature. So this way, from a learning standpoint, you're not forgetting things on a daily or weekly basis. You've always got that material at your fingertips. And finding that more and more universities and schools are actually implementing online training. This is not a new thing. Now, it's a fairly new concept in the self-defense world. You're seeing a lot more companies start to do this kind of thing, but they're years behind what Damien has put together with this program. And that's how we've been able to turn failure into triumph. We've been able to utilize this system. The self-defense company's self-defense training system has been around since 1998. It stood, the test of time. What we've been able to do is we've been able to take this and introduce it in a way that, Kevin, I see that you're on the call there. I can work with you. I'm here in Ontario, Canada. You're in New York. I'm able to say to you, hey, bud, today we're going to do Module 3, Lesson 5. And you're going to be able to go online, look up Module 3, Lesson 5, review that material, and training you from a distance. If I have local students, it allows me to say to my students, hey, this week in class, we're going to be doing such and such, make review it. This has been a big issue in the self-defense world of martial arts, people forgetting it, which again is another reason why it takes, so long for them to be able to progress through a system. We make things easy. We make things simple for all of our students. At the end of the day, true self-defense has to be simple. Whether you're, a 75, 80-year-old man or an 8 or a 9-year-old child, we can't teach you different techniques, but we can really focus on the mindset. Question I get asked all the time is how easy is it to compete against other, fitness hobbies? We are unique. This is what drew me to it. This is why I decided to pursue this. Outside of, the complete A to Z system here of self-defense, outside of the university style format, the support from Damien and the support that we have through a mentorship program has been huge. Instructors who've been doing this will work with you to ensure that you have that business success. That's pretty much unheard of, especially in the self-defense world. I've studied Krav Maga for a number of years. I've gone and attended many seminars. Don't get me wrong, there's some great training out there, but how can you go and take a 2 or 3 day or 4 day instructor seminar and then come back and be able to effectively teach on your own? We don't do that to you. This is, you have access to that online program, but you have access to an instructor mentor who's going to work with you and help you structure your business in the way that you want to structure your business. So like me, if you want to do it from your living room, I'll put together a game plan with you on how you can develop students around the world, how you can work with them online, how you can even help them, rank online. If you want to have students in a group setting or in a private setting or in like a studio, I help you with that as well. That's something that I've done. So all of our instructors at this point have been there and, are able to effectively work with you. There's not a whole lot that we talk about or that we really need to talk about. I guess the last thing I want to really discuss is how to avoid that get-rich-quick mentality. This is a business, and a lot of people kind of forget that. You're not going to hit a home run with it right away, especially because there's already that mindset from people of, it's self-defense, I don't need it. Our job is to promote ourselves, and that's another reason why I chose to do this. The support and the online marketing, advertising, and the way that Damien promotes the system benefits all the instructors. We work together to help all of our instructors develop their own businesses. We're not competing with each other, and that was a question that we actually got asked by somebody who kind of lives in a close proximity to existing instructors. Years ago when it started, we used to have protected territories, but under the new changes to the instructor program, we haven't had the need to do that. If I get a call and Kevin, you're in New York, or Jack, I see you're in Tallahassee, Florida, you're going to get those clients that are in your area. But we're also going to build a presence for you online that's going to help you develop students internationally. So we don't just give you, an instructor sign to hang over your door and wish you the best of luck. You have a complete business in a box when you do this. And that's how I've been able to effectively start my own business from home. And that's what we educate others on how to do as well. So at this point, that covers the material that I wanted to discuss. Was there any questions that any of you guys might have? No? All right, well then, if that's the case, I'd like to thank you guys for jumping on the call. You can reach me anytime. My number is 705-770-3564. Or you could just message us through the Self-Defense Company's website on Facebook, Self-Defense Company or the Self-Defense Company Canada, and we'd be happy to help you guys. Have a great night.
George, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Who's this? Kevin?
Oh, this is Kevin. I'm sorry, I was muted. As far as the marketing or advertising that the instructors do, is it through the company or we do that individually on our own, or how does that work?
Well, we've actually got a little bit of both going. Damien has been working with some different social media companies to help put together marketing campaigns for all the instructors. First thing that we do is, aside with getting you your website built, we also build you a Facebook presence, a fan page, and we feed you content on there. We're constantly feeding you content that you can put out to your contacts, right? It's going to hit your individual friends on Facebook. It's going to hit their friends, and so on and so on. We also give you physical marketing material that you can put up in your local area. So we're not just focused online. We focus, both on and off. But we make sure we give you as much as we possibly can. Now, the other thing that we have in our back office is we have the ability for members to find an instructor. So they can do a search online in the back office. They'll find who the nearest instructor is to them, and they're able to plug right into you. So we do everything that we can to make sure that we're helping you find customer students, just as as you would be doing the same thing.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Perfect. All right. Well, it's been about 20 minutes, so we'll end the call. And if you think of any other questions, like I said, please feel free to give me a call or to send us a message, and we'll be happy to work with you. So have a great night, guys.